everybody. Happy Wednesday. We all love making it halfway through the week. Today we're going to be doing our live with the CEO of my company, our beloved Dr. Z. He's going to share his insights about why the soap is so important, how to be prepared, and how to use our new revolutionary service that's called Soap 45. And it's unlike anything you've seen before, and it's there to equip you in every way. Thank you to everyone for joining us. Let me just get him on live and then we can begin. We literally just launched it this week, our Soap 45 service. This offers a soap guide, soap prep, soap FAQ, and soap search soap search service. All of these things can be used. Oh, look who joined us.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Amanda.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be face to face with you for once.
Awesome. I usually don't get on live that often, but
No, we don't get to see each other that often, but I love the glasses. They're snazzy. They match my shirt.
Yeah, they do. I mean, blue always looks good, right?
Can't go wrong with blue. You really can't. So I was just telling them a bit about the Soap 45 service and how exciting it is. But before we launch into that, let's talk a bit about soap. And I don't know, actually, do you want to do a little introduction about yourself or do you want to launch right in?
Well, I mean, talking about soap in specific,
Yeah.
the process. Yeah. I mean, every year we go through this process of soap. It's a period where candidates now are trying to get a spot during the post-match soap, post-match match week period. And this is a very sophisticated kind of process. I think for candidates, a lot of them who anticipate this day, either people who got interviews or people who haven't got interviews and they know they're going for soap for sure, right? So what happened is, as you know, we go through the ranking process, programs ranking candidates, ranking programs, and both the candidates and the programs end up with vacancy, with being a program being vacant or the candidate being unmatched. And this is where the process starts on Monday, which is at 10 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Normally it would start on Monday, but the whole point of this service that we've launched is that, or really that you guys have pioneered, is that it's going to start a little bit earlier. You can start understanding what the soap is going to bring. You can start understanding what programs might be in the soap, and you can start getting your application ready rather than maybe waiting until that day and being left to scramble and do everything in that hour.
Exactly. I mean, one of the things that Match a Resident is that we, for 20 years, we understand the behavior of the candidates. Many candidates who are aware of what they should be doing during soap or before soap, they are prepared, right? So you want to, do you want, as a candidate who is expecting soap, or even if you got interviews and you're not sure yet, is that you want to look for what specialties are out there that will have the most vacant positions. Now, for some candidates, they know for sure they want to go for a specific specialty. They applied for the specialty during the regular season, and now it's soap. But this specialty they applied for in the regular season is not the specialty that have the opportunity during soap. Some specialties have more open positions than others, right? So if you start getting ahead of time aware of which specialties are out there should be preparing for, then you guide yourself during soap. Okay, I can go for more than one specialty. I can go for the internal medicine specialty that I applied for, but I can also consider family medicine. In this case, you need to start preparing ahead of what kind of documents I need, right? So if you have a personal statement for family internal medicine and now you go for family medicine, then somehow you have to come up with a personal statement for family medicine to be ready for that day. And if you haven't obtained recommendation letters for family medicine, maybe it is still a chance to ask the person who wrote you a personal statement for internal medicine, say, hey, I'm also interested in family medicine and I need one for family medicine. So it depends how much a connection you have with that person. You could possibly get these documents ready, which is a personal statement and recommendation letters. That would make increase your chances now for soaping into family medicine and internal medicine altogether, right? But some candidates maybe are just focused on one specialty. Now, if this one specialty is within the 5 top specialties, then that's good. I mean, because SOAP is going to give you these options of many programs open or number of positions open, and you can SOAP to only one specialty. But if you apply to a specialty that is not within the top 5, I would say if you go for anesthesiology, for example, there's only one position or one program doing SOAP. So either you decide to, okay, you know what, I'm going to prepare for the next cycle, the 2025 cycle, and just not waste my time. But even if there's one position, you should go for it doing SOAP since you have that option. Uh, but don't expect much. I mean, since you have so many candidates, IMGs especially, who are soaping, and there's only limited number of positions. So I suggest that candidates should be now thinking of, is it a possibility I can consider a second specialty or third specialty? And this is what the service is all about with Natural Resident, is that it's based on requests by candidates. And there's requests of, hey, can you predict for us what vacancies are out there? Like I'm wondering which programs are always, seem to be unfilled. And a lot of candidates who are aware of that, they go and dig into the data they can find all over the internet, and they find out, you know what, here's the list in internal medicine of programs that are always unfilled, but it's very difficult for you to do this tracking, right? Now, thanks to the AI technology that emerged, now Natural Resident with this enormous amount of data that we collect for 20 years, specifically the last 5 years that we looked at, and now you're able to talk to your own website, like say, hey, what do you have for me, right? And surprisingly, Natural Resident talked back to us saying, hey, yeah, we can offer this kind of opportunity to candidates to just to see what programs could possibly show up again on Monday. And now you're not only preparing specialty specific documentation, you're also preparing a program specific document. Personal statement can be specifically written for a specific program that you really and honestly do have that kind of desire to be at, right? So now you can go and modify your internal medicine personal statement just with few changes. You can actually add that you're interested in this specialty, specific in the introduction or in the end paragraph of your personal statement.
So to clarify to those of you who are joining and may not understand all the ins and outs of the service, we do have a part of it that's called SOAP Prep. And so within this service, we will provide a list of programs that are likely to have unfilled positions, but it's also only for the top 5 common specialties that are going to be in SOAP. So within that, though, you can which programs you match with, and you could either focus on one specialty, or what we would recommend is that you open it up a little bit, especially if you are like, you can't afford to go through the match again, or you don't have the bandwidth to deal with the stress again, you want to get into residency, then you can examine these top 5 specialties and determine the programs that you are more likely to match into and will be on the list. Using that is incredibly valuable, because even if it's only 5 programs or 10 programs, that means that you have a leg up on other candidates going into that week. You've already prepared, you understand what that program's looking for. Maybe you have a program specific personal statement. Maybe you just are more prepared for interviews, or you know what to say in your application to gear towards what they're looking for. These are just things to keep in mind, like when going forward. It's really about understanding what you offer as a candidate, and then what program you're most likely going to be a great fit for and matching into in the end.
Correct. I mean, this list again, if you were to, as a candidate, spend the time to do the research and compile the list and sort it out, even if you come up with 5 programs, now you have 5 programs that you expect, hopefully, that you will be unfilled. I mean, if you look at the Natural Resident algorithm and data, you could see that one program based on applicant behavior have been, searched that many times within the first hour still for the past 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. So now the AI just picks these programs and tells you, okay, these are the programs. So even if you have 5, because obviously you cannot prepare for 30 different personal statements for different programs, right? But now you can maybe select the top five, and that's what Master Resident does with the SOAP prep list, the new SOAP service, where now you can select the top five in different specialties or one specialty you wish in the top five that you mentioned, and just strategically prepare for it in terms of learning about the program in the event of being invited for an interview, or if you have a connection, some kind of contact in the. So in the event there's a vacancy, I'm going to be sending an application. So it gives you ahead of time a chance to communicate with acquaintances, friends, family in the program that you identified in the list being, hopefully to become unfilled during SOAP. And the other thing is also to prepare ahead, as I mentioned, with this one component we added to the list, which is learn about the program through MAR AI. And now you can learn about the program location, the program itself, the team, everything about the program. So this way, if you go for an interview, you're an interesting candidate who understands the program, intentionally applied. I know everything about you guys. So that hopefully will give you a better chance for being extended a position during Thursday, which is a SOAP rounds, offer rounds.
I agree. I completely agree. Really quickly, I did want to touch on, because we got some questions about this yesterday. How important is it for them to update their personal statement for the SOAP? Like, do they have to do it? And my answer is pretty much, what would you say? I'll give you the floor first.
I mean, if you identified areas in the personal statement that maybe led to you not being extended an interview in the regular season, and that's a personal statement, then yes. I mean, obviously, look into the personal statement, strengthen it for the new opportunity you have in SOAP. Assign this new personal statement. But if your personal statement, obviously, you spent a lot of time on it, it's a good statement for the specialty you're applying for, then yes, use the same statement. Now, the question is not about looking into your statement unless you know there is a problem with it. Is, can I consider a different specialty a new personal statement? Can I identify a program that has been unfilled, it trended for the past five years, or 3 to 5 years, as being unfilled, and now I can target this program for application and learning more about it, communicating with people that, if you know anyone in that program that could help you with an interview during the 2-day interview during match week.
Okay, great. Yeah, I completely agree. I just wanted to we got that question a lot. People were like, how important is it to update? But I do agree, keeping an open mind, checking out other specialties, maybe being flexible with that in the end will really benefit you come Thursday offer round. So moving forward, obviously, it's more than just SOAP prep. We also provide the SOAP search service. So I know that for maybe some others that don't know, we do offer another service. It's called electronic residency, and it's slightly different from this service. But how would you describe it being different, and why would you tell a candidate that it's more worth it to invest in the SOAP 45 service?
Yeah, I mean, it's the electronicresidency.com SOAP service. It was launched 2012. So over 12 years, servicing post-match SOAP. It was mainly made based, again, on applicants' requests, saying, hey, during SOAP day, how do I select the best programs from my list, or compatible programs in my list, and decide to apply, because I'm limited to 45 applications during SOAP. So we created this quick search, compatibility search service or system, where they can just enter the ACGME code of the program after they have obtained the list from NRMP. And remember, NRMP is the only entity that would give you that list for the current season, right? No other entity. So even our SOAP prep list is only predictory kind of list based on AI, making sense of the data and giving you ahead of time kind of preparation, right? But the list itself you have to get from NRMP, and then, okay, what should I do with this list that I have, right? Either you can go randomly, saying, okay, I apply to all these unfilled programs in the list that NRMP provided me, or say, you know what, I can't just go random because there's some programs here in the list that I don't qualify for. So why should I waste one application from my 45 application on a program that I'm not compatible with to begin with, right? And that's electronic residency. It's either you search the list from NRMP to tell you yes or no. Yes, apply to this. No, don't apply to this. Doing so. Now, the master resident SOAP search, which is the main service of the SOAP 45 prep. I know we have the SOAP prep list that we talked about earlier, but mainly for master resident for the SOAP is a SOAP search. That's when you get the list from NRMP on Monday, and now you want to search the program. Now, the difference between master resident and electronic residency search systems is that one sorts out the top programs for you, which is master resident. With master resident, you search all the specialties you want, family medicine, internal medicine, and as soon as you finish the search, magically you look at the tab next to it. It says your top search programs, 45 created. You can see labels with gold color, trophies for the top 45 for everything that you have searched that is compatible. Now, for electronic residency, it's only compatible, not compatible. It's not ranked based on number 1 to 45, right? Master resident, it ranks it up for you. So this way you know exactly what number 1 program you should be applying for from what you have searched after you have to obtain the list from NRMP and search all the programs in each specialty. Then you see that list generated for you. All you have to do the next hour, which when ERAS opens, just to go back to the timeline, 11 a.m. you get the list from NRMP Eastern time. You obtain the list for whatever specialties you want to apply for, and now you have an hour to decide the 45. Now, you're not limited to the 1 hour, but most candidates just finish with their applications at 11 o'clock when ERAS opens for their application. So the two things happening on Monday is you get in the list first. I mean, hopefully you do match. This is what we hope, that you have to go through the process. So, but if you, God forbid, you don't end up matching and you want to, now you're going for SOAP, you get the list from NRMP, and what you do is you search which programs are best for you, decide on the 45, either use master resident or you want to use your own magic way of doing it, but master resident made that easy for you, as I mentioned. At 11 a.m., this is when ERAS opens for you to select the 45 and send your application. On that day, nothing is happening. You're done with your part. If you apply to all 45, obviously. If you left 5 programs for some reason untouched in the 45, then obviously you have to find a way to fill these remaining 5 if you haven't applied to all 45. What you need to wait for is the next day now. This is when the programs will open your application, send you invitations, hopefully. Interview days, again, is Tuesday, Wednesday, and until Thursday, which is the last day of SOAP. Thursday is the most important day, which is the offer rounds. Based on the 2 previous days, you have now a chance to accept an offer from the 2 days of interviews you have obtained.
Regarding the interviews, we had a couple questions about this as well. Should they expect it to be virtual, on the phone, and how should they prepare for these interviews? Should they have a U.S. phone number?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the programs, if they wish to communicate with you, they're not going to dial an international number. I mean, even for us now, running a service 20 years, when we have an international person calling us, it's very hard to figure out the area code or the country codes. So it's better to have a U.S. number. Nowadays, you can do that with Vonage or Ring Central, any service that offers that.
Google, yeah, all that.
As long as you have a phone number to share, then that's good. Also, pay attention to your email address, because you're communicating through email. You want to make sure that you fix the contact information, make sure that your email is up to date. And obviously, for the interview, you want to prepare ahead of time for the technology part and the room and the background and the way you're dressed. I mean, all these things you have to be ready for, other than just making sure you sleep the night before and you're looking fresh and ready to answer questions. For Metro Resident, we created a guide. If you go to Metro Resident and SOAP 45, I want you to watch every part of the guide. It talks about all these aspects of the.
It's free.
And
It's free for those of you who
yeah, you don't
it's
have to.
free.
Yeah, so I technically designed this module to exactly how I see soap should be approached from day one, before soap to soap day to after soap. So it should guide you towards what should you do throughout this entire period. But it is untraditional. It's not the same way of going in person or during the regular season. They may have more time to talk to you. The soap interview is very short, 15 to 20 minutes max, and it's very specific question to. I mean, obviously, the first question always tell me about yourself, but after that, they want to see how strong of a candidate you are. They are trying to target these kind of questions, and obviously, they want to ask you how do you feel about not matching, or if you partially matched. They want to feel how strong you are about this, and obviously, I always suggest candidates to show that it's an opportunity. I mean, I have friends throughout all these years who matched doing soap, and they ended up being so happy about this position, although it is more difficult, but it is a blessing to be been
I
to have
agree.
been provided the chance.
Anyone who follows the podcast or my interviews or anything, I always say everything happens for a reason. So, if maybe this is what it is, you end up going into the soap, keep an open mind. You never know. Maybe this is exactly how it's supposed to happen because now you're going to consider a program or a specialty you wouldn't have considered before. And that might actually end up being that maybe the happiest and you never saw it coming.
Absolutely. I mean, these candidates that I know that matched with soap, actually, they're so happy they were given that opportunity in a program when they thought, they had to now wait for the next cycle. But again, I just have to stress this. I cannot stress it enough that you have to be a very aware candidate. And okay, next week is so what can I do to improve my chances? You have to do more. You have to prepare yourself in every aspect, on a personal level, at the application level. Every aspect of it is important. It's a long 4-day period, and it's good to understand the timelines, the times you should be attentive, especially during the offer rounds on Thursday. You need to make sure that you know these.
You beat me to it. I was just about to talk about the offer rounds because some people asked me, was it an hour? Was it 2 hours? So the offer rounds are 2 hours, and there's 4 rounds on Thursday. I believe they start at 10 a.m. It's 10 to 12, and then there's like an hour in between every offer round so that you can kind of catch your breath and programs can see. And then I believe there's an hour, yeah. And so that is a hectic day. And you also want to keep in mind that if you get an offer, it will expire at the end of that 2 hours. So you really want to be on it about making sure that you're seeing your notifications, you're checking your email. If there's for some reason that you absolutely can't be on your phone that day, like you have something going on, get a loved one to check your notifications for you because you don't want to miss that offer. Once it expires, there's no way to get it back.
Correct. I mean, the offer rounds, I think they start at 9, 2 hours.
Oh, it starts at 9? Okay.
Yeah. 2 hour break in between. It ends at 8 p.m. And 9 is basically when soap officially ends. I mean, it ends at the end of the offer round, which is at 8, but at 9 o'clock, this is when the program.
Like, officially it's done. Yeah. And
then
the
again,
next
it's 2
day, I
hours.
do think, yeah.
I'm sorry.
The next day, and then you go. Sorry.
The 2 hour window is the time you need to be attentive. I mean, in every email, every aspect of the communication needs to be watched for an offer because you have 2 hours to accept it. If you lose it, it will never come back. And if you get offered a position, think twice before rejecting because you may not get an offer throughout the next 3 offers. So it's
every round the chances go down, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. So if you get an offer, you really want to highly consider it. That might be your chance.
Absolutely. I mean, that's every offer you get, unless it is a real big reason for you not to accept it. I mean, if you got an interview, you're already expecting one offer from the interviews you obtained. I mean, there's rare occasions where a candidate got offered a position during the last day of SOAP where they haven't received interviews the past 2 days or the previous 2 days during SOAP, which is very rare. But most likely, I mean, 99.9% of the candidates who receive interviews on Tuesday and Wednesday are the ones expected to get offer,
Mhm.
and not all of them will get the offer, but the offer could happen within any round. So either the first 2 hours, or the second, or the third, or the fourth. So you have 4 rounds in total.
Yeah, exactly. So you just want to keep an open mind and just be ready that if it comes in, you're ready to accept it. And obviously, if you've had that interview, really you should know, like what you're saying basically is once you've had the interview, you should already be mentally prepared that hopefully you'll get an interview offer and you probably should accept it if you've gotten the interview, but it's up to you at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the only chance you have, and you may get multiple offers in one round. I mean, but now you have to make a decision. What's the best option for me, right? But you have to really consider taking one offer. The only offer, it could be the only offer during the Thursday rounds. That's very important.
I completely agree. Is there anything else you would say or you want to tell people who might be preparing for SOAP right now or?
Yeah, mainly I just say be proactive in your approach the next few days. It shouldn't be stressful. I mean, it should be just understanding the timeline. This is very important, knowing that at 11, at 10 is when ERAS, when NRP opens, to provide the results and the unfilled list in this case.
Mhm.
If you matched, congratulations. This is what we want for you. This is the moment we wait all these months for us to hear from our candidates that they matched. If not, then you have a good opportunity. A lot of people think, okay, SOAP is that's it. It's just whatever is leftovers. You're talking about 2,600 positions. That's a lot. I mean, I know you're competing against about 8,000 candidates or 10,000 candidates at that time who have been left unmatched. But if you're more aware of the process, if you intentionally have prepared, you know exactly what you're doing, then I see better chance because during SOAP, the programs are less strict about your overall situation and just they want to see a sharp candidate in the application. So if you intentionally studied the process and said, you know what, I can get the top 5 programs and study these 5 programs, prepare a personal statement or recommendation letters if it's a different specialty, and apply. And now I think just you would feel like, okay, I may have a better chance because I have done my best now, right? So from now till then, either you do your own homework or you have Master Residents. We have launched the service exactly for that. You don't have to do all the hard work. Get that list, the residency, the SOAP prep service list, but mainly focused also on understanding the search system because the SOAP 45 prep service that we launched have 2 components other than the FAQs and the guide. It's a SOAP prep and the SOAP search. The SOAP prep is for now for you to prepare to see which programs most likely, hopefully, would be showing up on Monday and prepare for them. And the next is to prepare for SOAP day and use the SOAP search. At that time, the SOAP prep list is not relevant because now it's SOAP day and your focus should shift on applying to the correct 45 programs and just waiting for the next day for interviews.
I
That's the whole approach.
I also do want to note to people that the day of when you're applying, like yes, you get the unfilled list at 10, you can start applying at 11. Programs don't start receiving applications until the next day at 8 a.m. So I don't want you to just think that you have to apply in an hour. Like obviously it's great to determine, but if you maybe didn't update your documents, your supporting documents, or there are things that you could do to improve your application, give it that second look before you send out those applications because it's not going to benefit you to apply at 11 versus 12 on Monday.
That's true. I mean, the thing is with the whole application process, it's very vague. It's you don't understand how the programs are thinking. That's why a lot of people say, no, 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 I want to apply in first hour. I want to make sure I do my research and apply at 11 on Monday, uh, just in case. But thing is, yes, it is true that you have until next, like you have all the whole day on Monday to make the decisions on the 45, right? But you don't know what the programs are looking at. We don't know what official services, how they are handing this list to the programs. Is it by timestamp? Is the program really going to look at, oh, this is the first person who applied within the first hour or not, right? So you don't know how they're behaving, and therefore a lot of people say, you know what, I don't want to take a chance. I want to apply within the first hour, and you're able to do that, but not to compromise your application and trying to speed up things, right? So that's
Yeah.
why I say prepare now. So yes, you can send it on the first hour after the first hour of research, which is at 11 a.m. But if you're not able to do it, don't compromise a personal statement or some documents just because you're trying to speed up the process. You know?
Yeah, I completely agree. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's what basically is. I mean there is the chance also. I wanted to touch on the and that's why I also want you to watch the soap guide. The last part of the soap guide talks about post soap, and now post soap is a different, smaller opportunity left for you, and that is about 200 programs that are left, or 200 positions, sorry, that are left unfilled after soap ended. And this is when the NRMP will release the updated list at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday.
Okay. Yeah.
So in this case, you can go and see, okay, these are the leftovers, and this is where you come into action again because now you can communicate with them directly. Now you're not limited to only ERAS and be violating the NRMP terms of communication. By the way, during the 4-day SOAP, you cannot communicate with programs. Do not dial the programs. It's a violation. You have to wait for them to communicate with you. But on Thursday at 9 p.m., when the list is updated, now after SOAP ended, about 200 positions last year in 2023. These 200 positions, now you can communicate with the programs directly. It means you can send an email, say, hey, I'm still available, or call them the next day. You have all Friday next day to call each program, say, hey, I haven't matched, I haven't obtained any position during SOAP, I'm available. And make sure that you prepare these documents, your CV, your personal statement, all these documents should be ready now. Uh, Throughout the SOAP, just in case the program who invites you for interview say, hey, can you email us these documents, right? So you need to have a folder ready with your CV or any documents that the program could ask for during the match week and post-match, post-SOAP week or
Yeah.
period in this case.
I completely agree. I completely agree, especially if you're a candidate who you really don't want to go through the match again. Just make sure that you're prepared for every opportunity because it might pay off in the end.
Correct. I mean, this is the approach. It is a difficult period, but it's less difficult the more you prepare, to be honest. And I mean, you could wait. Most of the candidates wait until SOAP day. That's it. I'm just wait on, and especially those who waiting for the match results. And I understand this anxiety of waiting for match day. People don't want to even think about anything, which I understand that. But for those candidates who know most likely or haven't received interviews that I will end up matching, is for them to pay attention now because it's going to be a less stressful.
Stressful experience, yeah. I completely agree. And there's nothing wrong with it either, too. Like I think people often think that getting to the soap or having to go through the soap is some sort of failure. The match is hard. It's like really hard. And it's not like it's a clear, easy thing of, oh, that's definitely why you didn't match. It's an algorithm, right? Like it really comes down to maybe that program or those programs just had a better fit with another applicant. It's out of your control and it doesn't reflect on your ability as a doctor.
Absolutely. I mean, that's again, there are different ways to improve chances. Obviously, a lot of programs look at the USMD scores. Good that we have pass fail now for step one. But step 2 CK now became the main thing. I mean, the more interviews, obviously, and I know candidates who have received so many interviews and ended up not matching. So there's so many intricacies in the application, and every aspect of it has to be you have to be ready for. Now we're done with the regular season almost last few days, but we have soap, and we should not be ignoring the 2,600, the possible 2,600 positions that you could possibly fill. And remember, at the end of soap, 99.1%, I think, of all positions are filled. So obviously, you still have that chance for that 1% left, and that's post soap. And for that, as I mentioned, direct communication, make sure your documents are ready. And if you know something about the program, that is still unfilled after soap, is to just explain to them why you're interested in the program. Just make it worthy of an email if you want to send your documents to these programs.
Exactly. I agree. And I mean, that's exactly what this service is set up for. So if you guys are feeling unsure or you want to prepare, reach out to us. We can talk you through a little bit more about the service. There are free aspects. You can get the free soap guide. Just having your Match Resident account, you have access. It's really just if you want the soap prep list and the soap search aspects, you would need to purchase. But again, if you have more questions, please reach out to us. We're always open. Our inbox, you can always send us a message, support at Match a Resident. You can always call us. We love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And I don't know if there's any questions that showed up if you want me to answer, if they haven't had any questions.
If anyone has questions, you can leave them below here. I know before most of the questions I got were about the offer rounds. Do they need a U.S. number? Should they really update their personal statement? When I did our pre-Q&A. Somebody said, like, hi, Dr. Z, they met you at the festival in San Diego, like a thing you went to in San Diego.
Yeah, I met a good number of great IMG candidates here with Sebastian from Project IMG. So if you were there, it was nice meeting you.
I'm not seeing any questions. If you guys want to drop any questions below, we're happy to answer them. But otherwise, it's been a great experience. I feel like we've covered a lot, and I think there's a lot to know here. Are there ever radiology positions offered through SOAP?
Very, very little. I mean, if I look, radiology is one of the high demanding specialties.
It is, yes.
They end up filling most of the positions. It doesn't mean that they would not have any positions available this year. I mean, that's why you have the chance to log into an RMP R3 system on Monday and see. Then again, it's good to if there is an opportunity or if you're looking to fill a position and do a year prelim in surgery or internal medicine, then take that chance. Also, the transitional year for radiology. I mean, you can transitional year is one of the top specialties out there for SOAP. So you should consider that in case you don't end up in radiology, or if radiology doesn't have enough positions in this case.
That's a good point. Do we have to ask our professor for LOR copy in case we have to send it for the post-SOAP? No. So everything that you uploaded to ERAS is going to be available to you for the post-match SOAP. You don't need another copy. Is it hard for IMGs to match into surgical specialties compared to American students? I mean, yes.
Overall, I mean, it is. During SOAP, I mean, surgery have the highest number of vacancies for the prelim, not categorical. So if you go into surgery, I think surgical students have the most chance, honestly, during SOAP, because you're talking about 580 positions out of the 2,600 positions. That's a lot of programs, a lot of positions. So that will, secure you into a prelim, hopefully getting an advanced position the following year, or maybe having to apply for both categorical and advanced together the next cycle in this case.
Yeah. No, that'd be good. But they did say against American graduates, of course, anytime it's going to be a little bit harder for an IMG against an American graduate, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. I wish it wasn't the case.
Yeah, but during SOAP, you're not competing with US MDs, US MGs, right? It's mostly IMGs. I mean, 93% of US MGs match, so they don't need to go SOAP. Yeah. So now you're competing with IMGs mostly.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Do I still need to use signaling during SOAP?
No, there's no signaling. This is something actually I had to call because it was very vague earlier. early on, a lot of people ask this question. So I communicated with the official services, and they have advised me that this is not something to look at or to do.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. So
But
that's
we
good.
do take into consideration in the SOAP prep service the geographical and settings, and that's because the program may have access to your previous. And again, this is what's difficult about this is that official services don't make things clear of how the program going to look back to see if you have actually selected a geographic or setting preference. For that reason, we made it possible for you to actually sort out the list also based on geographic setting. And this way, if you get an interview, say, hey, I was interested in this in the regular season. I wanted to be in this location, or I wanted to be in this geographical location or setting preference. And that's going to make you a stronger candidate for the interview in this case.
Agreed. We'll take one more question, and we'll do this one. How likely am I to match 4 years after graduation? What specialties should I apply for? This is like hard because there's no way for us to tell you how likely you are to match after graduation. I mean, all your statistics come into play, but even then, it really comes down to how you perform in interviews. Like, no one can tell you the statistic of how likely you are to match, really. But I guess we could say, some of the specialties that we've talked about, like the top 5 friendly IMG specialties, obviously are going to be ones that you might want to look towards.
To be honest with you, I mean, it's very hard to calculate chances. A lot of people ask us, "Hey, if I get match a resident, what's your success rate?" I mean, it's nothing about this. I mean, yes, we give you an advantage, obviously, with match a resident in every aspect of it. But the chances also to think about, we are not walking with you to the interview to conduct the interview. And I know a lot of candidates who received so many interviews and ended up not matching just because their interview skills weren't strong enough, right? So I can tell, I always speak with candidates, I can tell from how much they understand the process that they will end up matching. I can tell. The more aware of the process, the more prepared you are, the more stronger your documents, the stronger your recommendation letters, intentional approach. Hey, I'm going to do this rotation. Okay, how can I get the recommendation letter that's outstanding, right? And that's people don't do. They just go ask for a recommendation letter, and it's a template like everyone else. It has to be very specific. You should have control over that document because it's not something you can control. But I know these candidates who are intentionally doing things to see it in the recommendation letters, right? Because every other aspect of the application is under your control. The ERS application, the personal statement. I'm just talking about the next cycle. If you would, God forbid, have to go and prepare for next cycle, I don't want that for you. But you need to be very intentional in every aspect of the application. Relook your personal statement. Relook your recommendation letters. Can I somehow get a better recommendation letter? Can I ask for specific, aspects of me that the programs are looking for? And when they read it coming from somebody else, now they feel like, okay, this guy says things about himself or herself in the personal statement, and indeed is this the person he's talking about is indeed that person in the recommendation letters, which is written by somebody else, right?
Like,
And that's a very strategic approach.
like we talked about all the time this past season, it's intentional and it's integrated. It's integrated so that everything you're saying supports what you're saying about yourself, so that your skills are front and center. They're backed up in multiple ways with evidence and experience, and you're able to articulate that in an interview about why you will bring that to a program. And even this is also something to consider with SOAP 45 or SOAP prep, whatever, all of the things that you're doing for SOAP. You really want to think about who am I as a candidate? What do I bring? Maybe I did not match in this current cycle. Maybe I didn't get that, but that's not a reflection on who I am. And maybe I can show these programs like what the other people did not see in the cycle. Like, you need to make sure that whatever was missed, whatever skill, whatever thing you feel strongly, like you're passionate, you're well-rounded, you really are passionate about volunteer work, or you want to give back to the community, just making sure that that's front and foremost in your application.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I think we had some good questions. I don't think I see any more. So thank you so much, Dee, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure
My
everyone loved
pleasure.
having you on live, getting to see that face.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was trying our best. As I said, we always trying to innovate on Natural Resident, and myself as an IMG, I understood the process there 20 years ago, and ever since we've been building services to to give that extra opportunity for IMGs. I mean, as an IMG myself, I know that we are at a little disadvantage, and therefore every opportunity possible I can bring into the service, I would. We take a lot of suggestions from candidates. We always improve in our list. And again, it's all community built service. Honestly, it's all, and now with AI, it just is giving us a new horizon because now you can talk to your own website, or you can talk to your own service and say, hey, what can I offer more? And with the enormous amount of data that Master Resident has like in its possession now, we can create a lot of services targeted for IMGs to hopefully give a better chance. And this is our goal in the service.
I agree. And I mean, you guys have a great, well, especially you from your perspective, you know what candidates need before they need it. I feel like you know how to take it the extra step and provide them the well-rounded view of what you know from your experiences as an IMG, how they can better succeed.
Absolutely. Just make sure you go and if you were to do anything on your own, this is called preparation, which this is something we want you to do. But one thing is a matter of the register, read the FAQs, 20 FAQs. I think they answer most of the SOAP questions, and watch the five modules for the SOAP prep. It explains most of the aspects we talked about today, and this way you are more aware for before SOAP, SOAP, and post SOAP period. You'll be ready for every aspect of it. So yeah,
We got you on all bases, y'all. We got y'all.
absolutely. It was good talking to you, Amanda, and everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this live. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for coming on. I loved making you be my guest today. And thank you to everyone for joining us. You can always send us a message if you have any other questions. And good luck in the soap. Bye, everybody.
Bye.